Hey everybody, I'm here today to answer the simple question of should you stain a fence? I'll be going over the pros and cons of staining a fence versus natural wood color. So basically staining versus natural wood. What are some of the pros and cons of each? I'm gonna walk around here and step in front of the camera and then just sort of give you an overview of some of these pros and cons I'm speaking about. Let me angle my screen upwards. So I'm here in my backyard, not to be confused with here in my garage. And essentially, I just finished putting up a new fence. You might remember in some of the older videos that I had my old dark colored leaning back fence. So I just finished putting in this new fence and I just finished staining it as well. And this is just a little piece of one of the natural, pressure treated pieces of wood that was used on the fence, and I just wanted to go over some reasons why I chose to stain it. So essentially, and it's sort of up to you if you want to do it or not, but I'll give you some pros and cons so you can weigh it out for yourself. I do apologize in advance if you hear anything. There's actually an air show happening today, I believe, and I don't know if it's finished or not, so you might hear some loud planes, you might not, it all depends. I don't live that far from the airport, so sometimes I hear them taking off whenever there's like a really big air show or anything big happening in the sky. All right, so anyways, with that being said, as you can see right here, stick to the topic of the video, this is the stained color. So the first benefit to staining it is that you get to choose the color. So we chose this. I don't remember what the name of the color was. I want to say, I honestly don't remember. I think it was bark, if I remember correctly. But when you are using natural wood, you get just pressure treated color, one color, that's it. There are literally like tens of thousands of different colors and brands of stain that you can choose from when it comes to staining your fence. So you have more selection when you choose to stain a fence versus a natural color, okay? The second benefit, or the second pro and con, I would say, for staining a fence is that essentially your stain is going to stay that color, that vibrant, for at least a few years, whereas a natural wood, the pressure treatment is going to sort of lose its color and it's just going to start fading after like 1 year for the most part. So my parents, we just did a fence at my parents' house. Me and my dad and my two brother-in-laws, we did the whole fence, the whole perimeter of my parents' house. This is just the back. I just did the back of my house, but in my parents' house, we did the entire perimeter, and my dad chose to not stain it, and the year after, it's all faded. So now he wants to stain it, right? Now the thing is, when you stain a fence, the con is that it does require upkeep. So every few years, you're going to have to sort of sand it down and restain it. Whereas if you choose to just leave the natural wood color on the fence, then you can just leave it and you can, it's just gonna, it'll fade, but you can leave it. You don't have to do any maintenance on it at all. You just let it be. That's it, right? Staining it also gives a level of sort of like sealing to the fence, so you sort of seal the wood a little bit, right? If you're not going to stain it, I do recommend that you put some like water-based sealant on that wood, just to give it a lacquer finish and to seal the wood to make it last longer. But even so, that will fade, right? So it's really a matter of personal preference. With regards to cost, it barely costs anything extra. Like this was 2 big cans of stain. I did this side and the side behind it. I won't go into too much detail. I don't want to give away where I live, but like I don't have a neighbor behind me. There's a big open area behind my house, if you can sort of see through over there. So I did the other side too, so that people that are walking by don't have to look at a faded fence, right? And I used 1 big can of stain for each of these. I don't know how many liters it is, but it's like a big paint can, right? For each of these sides, so 2 in total. And when I sand it and I have to restain it, I'm probably going to only use 1 in total, right? So the upkeep is not much less than, like we're talking about very inexpensive, the cost of those cans. And it took me a few hours to do each side. So essentially the work that's required, if you like the look, okay, you can contract someone to do, you can pay someone to do it, or you can do it yourself. Either way, it's going to be fairly inexpensive, or it's going to take you not that long, depending on if you do it yourself or you pay someone to do it. But either way, I think it's worth it. Originally, I wanted a natural wood. Originally, I wanted like a composite fence. Then I changed my mind to natural wood, and then my wife convinced me that we should try staining it. And honestly, best decision. Obviously, she knows best. The way that it is. My wife has these ideas, and they always work out flawlessly. In all seriousness, I'm not even joking. It is the way that it is. It is what it is. So, yeah. Staining it, in my opinion, is worth it, but you know, it's up to you. I just wanted to go over some of the pros and cons of staining a fence versus natural wood color, like this pressure treated color over here. And that's it. Maybe one day I'll give you a tour. I'm working on finishing like my backyard, completely renovating it, completely changing everything. So maybe one day when it's done towards next summer, I'll give you all a tour of the backyard with regards to what it looks like when it's fully redone. But it is a long process. Yeah, so anyways, that's a side note. So stay tuned for that. If you want to see that, then subscribe, because, you know, I'll be working on that in the future, and you'll see the process for each step as well on the channel. That said, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.